over there, that strapping gentleman, that is Spencer McLaughlin of Locked On College Football, of Locked On Ducks. Spencer, last football season, you were called arrogant, you were called brash, but then the basketball season rolled around and you were called delightful. You were called very, very cordial. It's crazy what happens, when you're talking about a juggernaut of a team, and then, a basketball team that was just fine in their own right. But anyway, I always enjoy our conversation, Spencer, but we're not here to talk about how great a person you are. We're here to stir the pot because you over there, came out with your Big Ten conference rankings. Now, everyone grab a legal pad and a pen. I'm going to rifle through these really quick. If you're listening on the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, the graphic is right up here. Number 1, your Michigan State. No, I'm kidding. It's number 1, Penn
Wrong
State.
Wrong state, Matthew. Wrong state.
Well, that's okay. We'll get it right one of these times. We'll be up to number 1 eventually. Number 1, Penn State. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, your Oregon Ducks. Number 4, Illinois. Number 5, Indiana. Number 6, Michigan. Number 7, Iowa. Number 8, Minnesota. Number 9, USC. Number 10, Washington. Number 11, Nebraska. And guys, right here at a smooth dozen at number 12, Michigan State. Following the Spartans is Wisconsin at 13, UCLA at 14, Rutgers at 15, Northwestern at 16, Maryland at 17, and then those Purdue Boilermakers, they are the caboose on this Big Ten train. Spencer, okay, look, I'll probably edit this whole part out, but I'm going to do a little bit of business talk with you right now. We're supposed to have, strong opinions, hot takes. I'm supposed to be really upset at you. How could you disrespect our Spartans like this? But actually, that's a very fair ranking for Michigan State.
Thank you.
What's it like to be perfect, Spencer? Just go ahead, take it away.
It's something that I'm trying to cope with so that my ego doesn't get overinflated lest I be arrogant.
I get it.
Of course. What was the final score of that game? Anyway, so
I lost count. It's okay.
It got high very fast, but anyway, the reality with the Big Ten going into the season to me is I'm trying to have the courage to do at the top what few people want to do. And I'm placing all of the hype, pomp, circumstance, and expectations on Penn State that I possibly can.
I like that.
Because there is no better situation for them to come in and win the Big Ten. This is the year. I mean, you have got the core parts and several other ones with upgrades at receiver, which was your greatest weakness, on a team that wasn't just in the playoff last year. They were in the national semifinal drive. They were one drive from the national championship game. And yeah, James Franklin's come up short in those spots before. I'm not going to sit here and argue that particular point. I heard the same thing about Jim Harbaugh for a long time in this very league. I'm sure the fans of this particular program that you host, Matthew, have no thoughts on
Everyone
that individual.
Everyone is smiling right now, right? Of course.
Yes.
Now, everyone's wondering, is Mr. Franklin going to get his Connor Stallions? That's just what.
Well, everybody's got to have a guy.
That's
you
right.
got to look.
It's good to be connected.
Two coaches that no one wants to acknowledge, and everybody has. Your sign stealer and your get back guy.
The get back guy. Yes.
Everybody's got a get back guy. You don't want to point him out because it sounds like you're hiring an intern who you may or may not be paying to show up at these games, who is there to hone in your excessive testosterone boiling over on Saturday afternoons in front of 80,000 fans. So I think Penn State deserves to be in that top slot, to be viewed that way going into the season. For Michigan State specifically, though, Matt, I do want to put them higher because I think Aiden Childs can be better. I know that they weren't a disaster last year, nor did I think they would be. I would just like to point out, before everybody starts saying I'm an MSU hater and whatnot, what was the biggest win of MSU season last year?
Iowa, which ended up being a really annoying game because where was that team the rest of the season?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But remember, it's year one. You can't expect perfection right away with any staff. Kalen DeBoer struggled at Alabama, for goodness sake. It can take a little while. Some people picked Michigan State to win that game. Some people knew that Michigan State was not a complete and total mess. It's just when you're in that adjustment phase, it can be difficult. Going into this year, I would like Michigan State more if I didn't also like what everyone else is doing in the Big Ten. Sure. Now, if throw the rankings back up there for just a moment so I can explain the differentiation that came into my head. Mm-hmm. With Michigan State and Nebraska, I've got two coaches who I trust because of a proven track record at their previous stops. Yep. I've got two young, incredibly talented, but not fully maximized potential quarterbacks. I've got a couple of systems that I think are identifiable and good. If you swapped Michigan State and Nebraska going into this year, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't have a major objection. I put Michigan State over Wisconsin. I trust Aiden Childs more than Billy Edwards Jr. And that's contingent upon, of course, Childs taking a step forward as a quarterback. But the reason I have them behind Nebraska and Washington and even USC, but particularly those two, Nebraska and Washington, is not so much about what Michigan State isn't doing or won't ever do. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm not going to overlook what those two programs have done who had, by just one game for sure, better records than Michigan State did a season ago. So Washington's got also a young, unproven, but really talented quarterback who doesn't have as much experience as the other two guys. But going back to the days of the Pac-12, RIP, Jonathan Smith and Jed Fish were both in there. And I know that both of these guys can really coach. So when I look at what Washington brings to the table coming into this year, I like the hires they made to replace outgoing staff like Ryan Walters, a defensive coordinator, to replace Steve Belichick. I like that they've got a really quality receiver. I still have questions about Michigan State's passing game. I know it doesn't have to be great. As an Oregon guy, I've seen what Jonathan Smith can do with the old stretch right and stretch left plays. You can you can do marvelous things in that regard. I really do look at, I looked at these rankings as three tiers, and I have Michigan State out of that third tier, because this is not a projection of conference standings necessarily. If Michigan State were to finish in the 7 or 8 range in the conference, if they were to go 8-4 and be, let's say, 5-4 in conference play,
great.
That wouldn't shock me at all. And I do think they're going to go 3-0 in the non-conference slate. So I think Michigan State has everything to go forward. I just don't know that it's a massive jump. Mm-hmm. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I haven't seen the moves or the sort of off-season buzz that makes people like me think, hey, this team's going to make a sizable step forward. I think it'll be, and I expect it to be, and Michigan State fans should expect it to be, a progression, a step towards where I've seen this program be before, which is the Big Ten championship game. I think Jonathan Smith can get them there. I don't think that all comes together here in year 2, but I do think they should be a better version of, it was a 5-7 team last year, right? Like, not far. This should be a bowl team. I fully place that sort of expectation on Michigan State. This should be a bowl team in Jonathan Smith's second season.